So today we got our first product from ATEN. Now, will ATEN get a 10 out of a 10? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you've been keeping well, and today we are reviewing a KVMP from ATEN, more specifically the CS1953, and this is because I want to review more products that are around production and streaming. So if you don't know what a KVMP is, I will be explaining what that is, but I think I hear something coming. It's our sponsor. Thank you so much to QNAP for being the sponsor of this video. QNAP are specialists in safe and secure network access storage devices, or NAS devices, that have multiple applications such as virtualization as well as surveillance. So if you are looking for a safe and secure way to extend your storage both at home and work, I will leave a link to QNAP's website in the description below so that you can look at all the devices that they have on offer to see which might suit you best. So what is a KVMP? KVMP is actually an acronym for Keyboard, Visual, Mouse, and Peripheral, and this is what it looks like. Now, in order to explain this efficiently, what I want you to imagine is that you only have one mouse, one keyboard, and one monitor, but you have multiple PCs. In the case of this, you have two PCs and you have one laptop, or it can be a laptop, smartphone, or tablet. Now what it does is it takes the visual aspect and the sound aspect from all of those devices and it puts it into one universal device. So at the touch of a button, your visual aspect with regard to your monitor and your keyboard and mouse will change according to which button you press into which PC it activates. So you have the ability to work with all three PCs or all three devices with one keyboard, one mouse, and one monitor. Now further to that, it does have a USB input, so if you are trying to transfer files quickly in between computers, what this device does is it allows you to be able to access the same hard drive plugged into this and be able to transfer files from one PC by literally copying it, pushing the button, going to the next PC and pasting it there. So why am I saying this? This is because this is good for people that are trying to condense space. This is good for people in media. This is good for content creators and streamers that do not have as much space and want to try and compact as much as possible to create good workflow. Now, what I normally do is I'd say, let's look at this unit a little bit closer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a nice overview. And I'm going to show you this unit a little bit closer and show you all the input outputs. And then in the next section, we're going to explain them. So in order to understand this device a little bit better, we're going to be looking at the reverse side first. Now, you'll see that it's divided into two major sections, the first one being the console and the second being the inputs. Now, on the console side, there is DC power, which you'll need if you don't have USB-C, but you'll see that there's DisplayPort for the monitor that you're going to be looking into. Then there's going to be USB for the mouse and keyboard that you're going to be using, as well as a 3.5mm jack to deliver the sound that you're receiving from the three objects. Now, next is the three sources. Now, the first one is USB-C with a 3.5. Now, that is for a laptop or for a smartphone or tablet. Next is for a PC, which has DisplayPort, the USB-A to USB-B, and it's identical for the first and the second. Now, you'll see that all three of these will take the import source signals and then convert them into the console, which you will be seeing. Now, if we turn it to the reverse side, you'll see that there are three buttons and three LED indicators per button. Now, if you wanted to go to source 1, you'd push 1. The sound, as well as the number 1 and the USB number would highlight, and that means that it's receiving all three sources. Same for 2 and same for 3. You'll also see in the front that there is a audio port or a 3.5 jack. You can either use the one in the front or the one in the back, as well as a USB port, and that is for the hard drive that I spoke about earlier. Now, there's one little element that is extra, and that is for the controller. Now, you can either push the buttons physically, but if this unit is a bit too far away, ATEN gives you a little device that is a little clicky. So all you do is you plug this in and you would put that to the desk where it's most convenient to reach, and if you want to switch sources, you would just click it. So ATEN also does provide all of the necessary cables that you actually need to use while using this device, and that is you will have the physical device as well as two of the DisplayPort 1.2 cables, two USB type A to type B, one USB-C, three audio cables, the remote port selector, a user instruction, and the DC power adapter. So one thing that I do need to mention is that if you're using a gaming keyboard and a gaming mouse and are used to really quick response rates, that this is not going to give you the response rates that you are used to. So what I did is my gaming keyboard and mouse, I plugged into my gaming PC, and then my wireless keyboard and mouse, I plugged the dongle into the device so that if I wasn't gaming, I'd just put those to the side and then I'd use the normal one that was plugged into the KVMP. So that is just one thing that I do need to mention, is that if, especially on wireless, that you are plugging this in and you're not getting the response rates that you're used to, it's because this is routing through so many devices that there is going to be input lag. Okay, so one concern that I did have is that this device at the back, you'll see there's a button or a switch that says 4K 60 and 4K 30. Now, it is DisplayPort. So what I did was I connected all of my PCs. I've got a gaming PC, a streaming PC, and a media laptop that I use. Connected them all together, but I was concerned about the main PC and was I going to be able to get high refresh rates for gaming. So when I did that, I was actually getting north 144, 200, 300 FPS. So I was able to get that delivery while on 1080. I wasn't able to check it for QHD or 4K, but from seeing that it was delivering that, and I checked it both on the monitor and the software, so one can assume safely that this will be able to deliver high frame rates up to 4K 60. Okay guys, it's time to conclude, and I'm going to conclude by saying that this product is absolutely awesome, but it is only awesome to those people that will actually use it and need it. Now, that is for anybody that has multiple PCs, and that would be a gamer, a streamer, or someone in production. I can say that ever since I unplugged this, my life has been a nightmare because I got so used to being able to conveniently be able to switch between my PCs and use one mouse and keyboard and one monitor for those uses. If you don't need it, this product is just a 10. But if you do need it, it's a 10 out of 10.